ज्ञानप्रदाय विबुधा सूर्यसौख्यदुःखसत्कारणाय विददाय नमो नमस्ते यो विप्रलिम्ब विपरीतमतिप्रबोधान् वादान्निरस्य कृतवान् भुवि तत्त्ववातं सर्वेश्वरो हरिरीति प्रतिपादकं तम् आनन्दतीर्थमुनिवर्यं नमामि। पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome friends. Last week, we had gone about the mantra number 7 and 8, and the next mantra is number 8, which is also part of this group of this mantras. So with the first 8 mantras, we would be coming to a particular segment of the first chapter of the fourth Valli, which will explain this to us, because it is also bringing us why God has created the senses, which has always been looking outside, because He said, because He has created, because that is the creation. Once you come into this world, you have taken, because of your own efforts, your own account of the karmas, what you have done. Once you come, you will have to have all the three gunas, that is Satvika, Rajasa and Tamasika. Once you have that, those things you will be able to get through only through the senses and exhaust your all over prarabdha karmas. You will be able to acquire the knowledge and therefore it is there. But only, when you are trying to find, because these things are taking away, dissipating your energy into the world, all other things, which are not desired for necessarily for your growth. Then, because you try to find, because you question arises, because then what is the purpose, why I am existing and all. The very purpose of existing, how do we know all of us are existing? Because when we just see, because that we have the feelings, Sabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, when we have all the feelings, when we are able to see, as long as, because when we are able to hear, when we are able to smell, when we are able to speak and all, we are able to feel the touch, we are able to, so we exist. That's how we know. And who is the cause of that existence? Who makes you feel existence? That is prana. The prana is the one which has gone into, that has been given to us, the purpose, how the process, how the prana and all is activating us. That's going to be explained, because in these two mantras. And that's what, we were attempting to see last week, as we were trying to find, because we were also getting into the philosophical concept of it, how this, how we are trying to get feel, that there is something called a prana, the life force, which is enabling us to do all those things. And what is the purpose? It is enabling us to do all those things. Because if you finally see the body, because this is what finally the conceptually, as we go about in the mantras, I will explain. We are all our body or all our senses, or all our entire thing is made of 5 elements. Because that is what, when finally, all the 5 elements, Kritosmara, Kritam Smara, when we have seen in Isavasha Upanishad, finally, then in the entire body goes, because it gets into all the five elements. And when the 5 elements, it goes back to these respective places. So when the creation takes place, all those elements are first, even before the element, he has created the one who can give the creative power. That is Chaturmukha Brahma. We saw that, and we saw the order of that. We will once again see in a capsule, so that for our own understanding, clarity of the understanding, because the philosophical import of it, because we have seen to some extent, but we will be seeing, how it has been considered to be in order. So that order has been taken by all the philosophical streams. And when we see the philosophical streams, we will have to understand one thing that we will explain, because whether these philosophies are sort of, the darshanas, what we call Advaita, Advaita and Visishta Advaita, all those things. Is it that all those respective acharyas, because when they have come about, because they have just tried to distill the Vedas and give these philosophical concepts and all? The darshanas, what we have seen, if you really see, all these things were existing earlier. That's what Madhvacharya says, because we might Tattvavada, because of Madhvacharya, it has come into the prominence. And because of the Ramanujacharya, the Visishtadvaita concept has come into prominence. But for Shankaracharya, because the Advaita has come into being, because he brought the entire concept of his magnum opus Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, Viveka Chudamani, and he has got more, lot of scriptures, Didrishya Viveka. He expects the entire etymology of, how to go about and all. So all those things he has done. When he has done that, it is the, even before that it is existing. In fact, before Shankara also, there was one Govindapada, who is the guru of Shankara. He also, he is the one, who was propounding that. And before him, the Gaudapada Karika, before Govindapada's guru, Gaudapada is the one, we have seen the Gaudapada Karika in our Mundaka Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad, when we have seen Brahmadrishtam is nothing but Agama Prakarana of Gaudapada Karika. Gaudapada Karika, he wrote a sort of a treatise on the entire concepts of our scriptures into 4 chapters. The first chapter is called the Agama Prakarana. Agama Prakarana is nothing but, is giving, all the pranava and how it has come into being, how, because we are having 3 states of our life, our autobiography, every person, whether right from the birth, right from the womb, once you get into the womb and coming out, tumbled out into the earth, and then when you grow up, everything and all, you got all the 3 states. That is a waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. In all that, you are experiencing the world all through this, and depending upon each one's capacity and capability, and the whatever knowledge you have acquired through various births and which you are going to acquire in this current birth, they are all enabling you to do. By that, when you are getting the experience, then how you are able to get the benefit of it, benefit of your own development of the soul and all. Why? Because why? After all, once I have come into the world, I am experiencing this. What is that? The benefit or the ill effect of it, or non-benefit of it, and why should we consider all those things? And all? We have come, because every animal has come into, a dog has come into the world, so is a lion has come into the world, an elephant has come into this world, a human being has also come into this world, and having come into this, and why, because why we should be worried about it. But then that is where, the entire thing comes. The very great, this song, ಏಳು ಕಾಯಂಗಳ ಕರದಿ 84 ಲಕ್ಷ ಜೀವರಾಶಿಯನ್ನ ದಾಟಿ ಬಂದ ಈ ಶರೀರ. You are getting this after going through all the evolution. You might have gone into, because so many beings, which we don't know. Why? Because once this being comes in, then only, you've got the ability, you've got, something called the intellect, that comes about. The mind and intellect is part of the, because mind is not that, because the others have also got the mind. The faculty of the mind is chitta, ahankara and buddhi, because that all the 3 are there. The buddhi part of it is not, because so much in the discriminating power is not with the other creatures. That is why in our scriptures there are 84 lakhs Jivarasis are there, 8.4 million Jivarasis are there. We have gone through that, and final evolution is this human being. Having come into this, then only, you will have to think, because then you have got the ability to think. I am coming into this world, I am eating, I am sleeping, I am doing everything, whatever my body wants it. Is it that life, or is it something more than that? That you will come to know how long you will go on eat. Assuming you go to the buffet, there are about hundreds of the dishes are there. Will you be able to take everything? You will try to pick up, because whatever you can, even out of the attraction, even if you take 1 or 2, you may not be able to digest, you may not be able to, because more you take more than what you need, because then you are going to be paying for it, because then, so what you need is, what you want to take, only to the certain, because so that, it gives you enough energy. So why you get this enough energy? The energy is there, and the body is able to act. Body is able to act in the sense it is able to generate the energy. Your all the faculties are able to function. Your Sabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha is able to function. And by virtue of that, because you are able to do the activities in this world, in that process, you are able to acquire the experience. Then because of the experience, you acquire the knowledge. The experience is not what happens to you. What you learn from is experience. That is where the mistake is there. When the experience takes place, look, I had a bad experience. So what? From the bad experience, once you know, you are not going to do that thing, which has given you a bad experience. You will try to correct it, and perhaps you know the course correction. You look, I should not be doing it. A child will know only after putting its finger in the fire. Till then, it doesn't know it is going to hurt it. So likewise, it is an experience. You go on accumulating. So, and these concepts, because I will also explain how Advaita has viewed and how the other Tattvavada has viewed, Visishtadvaita has viewed. We will see all those things because these are all the fundamentals that is happening, irrespective of the fact you may profess any philosophy in the world, anywhere obtaining in any corner and all. These are all happening to every human being once you have come into this world. Having come into this world, having experienced that, and then you are trying to find, when you get the experience, one of the experience, you understand this is it. As the then till then it appears to be the truth to you. Once you get a bad experience and you say this is not the right thing I should do, that experience goes off. Then a further experience comes. You understand, you become wiser. So what happens, because then you go on getting the experience one after the other. Even that experience may appear to be less sort of the preferable, and in fact it is not so true, because you will find something more than that. So in this world, when we are going on experiencing everything and all, every experience has got a ephemeral existence. First, as a child, because as a teenager and as an infant, what you experienced, you would not be liking to have the same experience as a teenager, because that is that is childish. At that point of time, you were an infant. But once you are a teenager, your attitude changes, because you see your own grandchildren. When they are infants, something, once they are teenagers, their attitude will be different. Their approach will be different. Their talking will be different. If you are telling them the same story what you told when they are infant, they are not going to listen. But you will have to adopt themselves, because their condition has changed. The condition changes, because as you acquire more, wisdom is nothing but what you gain out of the experience, not the experience. Experience is not your, because what you are learning, you are getting into the intellect. What you are learning out of the experience gets into your wisdom. That is the wisdom. The wisdom is continuous exercise. It goes on happening one after the other. It is taking you into one level to another level. There is no end to the wisdom. It is like a horizon. See, I go on, if you see the horizon as you are walking along in a plane, which you are not able to see, maybe, sometime, when you go towards the sea, if you are traveling in the sea, you will find the horizon appears to me just about, because by the time you reach there, the horizon still goes. So you will only be following the horizon. Likewise, the wisdom is something which takes you further into it. So externally, when you are getting into, then there is no sort of a end to get the wisdom. There is no end to the knowledge. Knowledge is so vast and incomprehensible. That is why there are two approaches. When, because one darshana says it is a nirguna Brahman, and because it says, you can't give him any qualitative attributes like, sattva, rajasa, tamasa and all, because he is beyond everything, because he is the one, who is the cause of creation. So it is nirguna Brahman. You will have to take it little. But Veda has got, because shrutis for that also. Abheda Shruti, what they call it. And when you see him, look, he is like a horizon. There is no end to it. Guna Paripurna, Ananta Guna Paripurna, which Tattvavada says, is beyond everything. Infinity. Will you be able to measure the infinity? Will you be able to find the plenitude of the infinity? You will not be able to, because infinity means that I am not able to gauge and I am not able to calibrate. It is beyond my comprehension. It is just, I may able to apprehend, because some of the things that is happening, but that's not the end to it. That is what in the theistic philosophy, particularly Tattvavada, says. Look, because it is so incomprehensible. It is like a horizon. You just see the horizon here, but it's good. Because then because you also experience that. Pratyaksha, what they say, Pratyaksha, when you are able to say, see it yourself and get it and all. Whereas, it is a postulation. Because when you say, because that you can't, confine him, because you are limiting it and all, it is a postulation. Yeah, it's also correct. Because it's Veda Shruti is also there in the Veda, Veda Shruti is also there. All of them are correct. And in fact, because they repeat all these darshanas, be it Advaita or Tattvavada, Advaita as you call it, Visishta Advaita, Suddha Advaita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all other, so many other philosophies, including your, the Abrahamic religions, whatever is there, even Stoic religion, all Greece religion, originated in Greece. All of them, it's not that they have been found out by someone at all, because it is all experienced by someone has given, but they were all existing even before that. So the entire knowledge, all the religious knowledge, all the fundamental theistic knowledge, all the sort of knowledge, which the people are propounding in a particular fashion, everything is available even before anyone can think of. This is Adi means the one who is possessor of that knowledge, one who is limitless, one who is incomprehensible. That is the Brahman. That is the concept. That is why, because the scriptures, the Indian philosophical approach, the scriptures per se has been so vast and try to define, because as far as possible in words, because there is one particular verse in Veda, Yathovache nivartante saprapya manasa saha. In the sense, you will not be able to describe the indescribable in words, but then to understand, because such an incomprehensible one, such one who is now beyond the measure of everything and all, that Brahman is the one which we call it. And this is called the absolute Brahman as referred to, because for the purpose of reference, you and only can reference, but whether you call it absolute or you call it wholesome or you call it infinite sum and you call it everything and all, it is only for your own satisfaction. But you will not be able to define that. Yatovacha nivartante saprapya manasa saha. That is such a wonderful Vedic, because every acharya quotes that, because such an incomprehensible one. So you will be able to comprehend some of the mysterious experience. When you are continuously acquiring wisdom, how do you know, you've got, because it's not this far and no further. There is no question as far as wisdom is concerned. Wisdom is continuous. Wisdom is continuous till your last breath in this world, during this birth, and it will continue in several births later, because we will not, because everyone finds, even in scientific community, what is being discovered, for which, even a Nobel Prize is being awarded, and I think, within few years later, it is being disproved. Because that's not that is why exactly when Advaita says that the world is not real, it doesn't say real. In fact, those who know the innards of Advaita philosophy, they say it is neither real nor unreal. It says, because your experience is always, because validated by a better experience, go on validated, and only, because then as long as you go on getting a better experience, and finally, if you reach an experience beyond which there is no further experience possible, that is Brahman. That is why they say, because the only truth is the final one who is the substratum of everything. Substratum of everything is beyond which nothing can happen. Whether you got Nirguna Brahman or Saguna Brahman or, because the Arupa, anything you call it, beyond which nothing is, that is the end. And that end you can't find out, it is infinite. So that is exactly been brought about these two things. So in this context only we try two concepts, from our own understanding. Either, because to be, ourselves, how we have to make ourselves life better, by understanding this, knowing, because what we are, because while we are on the journey of the wisdom continuously and all, what we are doing, the first mantra of this entire chapter said, when all your senses are going outward, and you should be able to subdue that, not control, subdue that, so that you get the benefit of it, so that you are able to see the internally what is happening, because internally who is the source and the existence. Your existence is, you are feeling that you are existing because you are able to breathe, you are able to get the Sabda Sparsha, Rupa Rasa Gandha, because you are able to feel things. You are able to see, you are able to hear, you are able to touch, you are able to feel everything and all. And that comes as long as you are able to get all these things till such time the life force is inside, which is called prana. The prana has got a great concept in scriptures. Even the Brahman is being described as prana in some of the Upanishads, because prana has got manifold meaning in that. In fact, here itself we will be seeing two or three interpretations. Therefore, when you are seeing, when you feel that you are everything and all, it is like, because you are getting into the infinite sum. So when you get into that, and you will not be bothered in the sense, you don't care about it. It is that's very sort of a wide thing to understand. For that, you would have been totally renounced, and you see, like, look, I am in everything and everything is in me. That is what that feeling you will have. If you want to have that feeling, that is very sort of, it needs a lot of effort, sadhanas, to attain that. And a lot of the mental makeup in that concept only. In fact, Sandhya madam had asked, three questions. What is everything and what is nothing? Because how we can explain. And she has also given, basically, when you mean I'm everything, in the sense that you have got abundant love to everyone in this world, and you also feel that you are also one of the loved ones to everyone. Everyone is loving you and you are also loving it, because that is where the entire love flows. The law of the Lord is love, and the language of the Lord is silence. So then what comes in, when you are meaning everything and all, that is because that's the ultimate masters, who have taken everything and all. They have not bothered about, they have gone about, because there's a creed, color and all. They only buy, what is the content of every one of us, five elements and prana. So it is so worth everyone and all. So why should you bother? So when you are having that, because that is what we can, that is everything. And when I am nothing, and then that you need the grace. That need, in the sense, I am nothing. I am getting it done. Because every time I am getting experience, it is not that I know, I am elevating myself every time. But then elevation goes on only with some particular, because several bursts and all, when I'm having, after getting into the final mode of, because wisdom, when I realization, God realization, or what we call it, when we feel, at that point of time, yes, this is that, whatever inside in you is in everyone else, and he is the same one who has created this entire world. There is no difference between what is inside you, that who is there inside you, how he is inside you, because that is where the questions, the philosophy has asked, how he has come into inside. Has he come into the womb? Yes, when you are in the womb itself, he has come into your being, so he is activated the life force. How he has come into being, he has come through the prana. Prana, when it has come, how the prana has activated, because he is a resident. Even the prana gets the power from the ultimate power. He is resident in that. He is there, and when the prana goes, he also lives. And because for him, because in the sense, he knows in the purpose of the body, the five elements that is made is going to reach all the five elements back. So it has done its purpose. And in this process, when we are part of the five elements, how we have to behave in this world? This is what exactly mantra 6 and 7 said. This is the approach, which possibly, we were able to discuss, and we couldn't, in so much of detail, which we are going to do. So the 2.6, your mantra in page number 91 and 6 and 7, where you might have seen, the Hiranyagarbha and the Brahma in subtle creation. Basically, Brahma, we have seen in the three levels of creation. On the castle, is the Brahman himself, with the absolute Brahman and the infinite power, the horizon. He's because by theistic philosophy, he is independent, because he is the one, who is cause of everything, and he is able to cause. Cause and effect can't be same. So cause can cause the effect, and he is the one, what we call nimitta karana in scriptures. So once you is the Nimitta Karana, he is the cause for everything and all. And when he creates the cause, when he wants to create, then because he creates the Chaturmukha Brahma, because as we have seen in the scriptures say, scriptures are very clearly said, because in our Bhagavatam and all other scriptures have said, the Brahma has been created out of the Nabi of the Brahman, the Vishnu, Mahavishnu at the point of time. He has come. He is the one first created all beings. From his face only Indra came and so many things and all beings came and all. And when these beings came in, because the Prakriti, because Mula Prakriti is the Mahalakshmi who is always with the Brahman, because part of it, when you see Brahman, because it's part and parcel, you cannot segregate. And because of that, all the elements are created, all the cosmos is created, all the elements are created. And not only that, all the elements, because all the sort of flora, fauna, everyone get their life energy out of that, that is being created. So once that is being created, then that is the causal level, and then comes the subtle level. Subtle level is what we talked about, Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is the one, the golden womb, what we said. Out of that, because the five elements combine together, get into the womb, because it is getting the procreating power, in the wombs of this one, as well as the seeds in for the plants, and so is for the animals. It takes place, and when it Hiranyagarbha that takes place, all the golden womb, it produces all the beings in this world. When all the beings in the world, when they are being created, then because they get the energy, because that is the once they have been created, the entire the five elements formulate, because we have seen there are 84 lakh creatures in our scriptures, 8.4 million creatures in our scriptures. In Sanatana Dharma, we believe there are 84 lakh species. And as the species evolve one after the other, the final highest creation possible is the human being. And that is why, because the Upanishad attempts every time, again and again, you come through Yelukayangala Karadu, Embatnaku Jiva Rasiyanna Danti Banda Sarira. The body has come after that. Having come into that, because you have been given the Chitta, Ahankara, and Buddhi, and because all the faculties to know the Sapta Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, because with all the five elements are constituted and brought about it. So when you have come and brought about it, you will have to, because the mantra says, Yaha Purvam Tapasa Jatam. Because we saw this mantra again, it has got two connotations. One is Yaha Purvam Tapasa Jatam, out of the entire, the Sankalpa, because the world was created, by Advaita Darshana. Otherwise, because the interpretation of this Tapasa Jatam, Tapasa in the sense, the God of one, who is penance, who is highest penance, who is highest happiness, who is the highest sort of, because the bliss, if you want to call it, the only word you can use it, Shivam. So the Shivam is the one, who is the Lord of Tapas and the penance, and who gives the power to penance. And because in the sense, you will see, he is not, always in opulence. Whereas if you go to the Vishnu temples, Vishnu will be decorated, and because he will be having all sorts of decorations and sort of opulence and all. Whereas in Shiva temple, you will find the lingam, or because sometimes the lingam with the murti may be there and all, but then it is very simple structure, because he is just is renounced, wholly renounced. He is the highest possible tapas. So Yaha Purvam Tapasa Jatam, in the sense, other interpretation is even before the ultimate, because the who is capable of giving all the tapas, even before that Brahma was created. Why he has been created? Well, the Brahma was created so that all the beings, they can be created. So when all the beings they are being created, and when they are trying to get into the mode of finding out, because how they can elevate themselves, they can get into, because they won't say see the world, they see the creations what the God has given to them. When they are seeing the creations, what God has given them, they are trying to experience with the faculties of Sapta Sakra Rupa Rasa Gandha. as we see that, because like it is a buffet, you will not go on eating everything available in the buffet. You will eat couple of things, and afterwards, you will leave it, and maybe, you will taste something else. And after over a period of time, you will be bored with the buffet. You will try to find how long I will go on eating and all. Then I will see, what best, what am I to do in the, because when because what is the purpose of existence? What is the purpose of existence? Your prana has given you the existence. The prana has given you the existence to this body, which is made of 5 elements. This, even before the 5 elements, even before the god of the penance, who is capable of giving you the highest bliss, the Shiva, even before that Brahma has been created, you come into being. And because once you are part of this, when all the 5 elements are constituting and they are here till such time you are supposed to get the experience, and they will go off. When the life force goes off, then you will have to live with the 5 elements in always in, you will be in harmony. You will have to live in harmony with the 5 elements. That is with the water, the earth, as well as the sunlight, that's a light, and the air, and you have to live with everything at all, because this is basically nothing but, because what we see the climate change, because we have not lived like what the scriptures have said. This is exactly adbhaya purvam ajayate, adbhaya in the sense, the waters, the water, the original waters, from where in the creation has taken place, in the sense. So it is being a sort of a metaphorical reference to all the elements, but because in the waters, in the sense that like when you see Vishnu on the Kshira Samudra, because when he is on, the milk, ocean of the milk, he is lying there and all. It is the one where the creation has taken place at that point. But then, it denotes all the elements, 5 elements, because they are only possible, finally they come here and make the body, wherever it is there, in the womb of an animal or in the womb of a human being, or it gives, it becomes a plant also, because plants have got all the minerals, that has come about earth, and all the, it needs the water, and it needs the sunlight, and everyone needs all the 5 elements. So it says, Adbhaya Purvam Ajayata, he brought prayer to the 5 elements, having been born to the prayer elements, and these 5 elements, have given you, all this existence here with the prana here. You've got to live with, because you don't have any option to live in harmony with the prana. You can't say, because I am going to defy prana. Defy prana in the sense, see, I will tell you, there is one Upanishad, perhaps, immediately after this in Kathopanishad. It is basically called Kathopanishad because it is in Katha Samhita. But we call it Kathopanishad because that is where, because the westernized, the reference to Kathopanishad has come. That's why we are seeing, and that is commonly been referred to and all. So in the, you will see the Satprashna Upanishad. Prashna Upanishad, it's called Satprashna Upanishad. Satprashna Upanishad, there are 6 questions. The 6 questions are being asked by the 6 great masters, Piplada, Katyayana and all. We will see, it's a beautiful, I think that is a question and answer. It will take you to somewhere, because most of your unanswered questions will be answered in the Upanishad. In that, because they're all the senses, because once they have a sort of, it is allegorical, because it is, they have given, they were trying to find who is superior, whether the eye is superior or the nose is superior or the ear is superior, or, because the tongue or the hands or, your legs, which is superior. They were trying to find, all the senses in all the 16 senses, they were trying to find. And then Prana said, "Arey bhai, I don't want to be in part of, your struggle and all. Let me leave." And suddenly, when the Prana left, all the senses are of having no use. And then they, sorry, because we don't want to hurt you and all, because you be there. And we are thinking, because how, it is sort of allegorical, and just wanted to say, like prana is the one, once it is there, you are trying to, it is looking after everything and all, then how can you go on fighting with that? You can't, you will have to, prana will have to live in harmony with you. And you have to do everything in such a way, prana is able to be with you till such time, you can breathe last. It's not that you can take panga with prana. This is what exactly it says. Prana, that's why we'll see exactly how prana gets into us and how it enables us and all. It says, why you are, another thing, because in one of the explanation in Gita, it says you'll have to live with all the five elements in the harmony, in the sense. You are taking food, you are going to buffet, you are taking food, you get the energy and all, all your body parts get the energy, your hands are able to perform, your legs are able to take you and all. Supposing you are able, your hands have to work in coordination, in harmony with your body. The hand can't say, because look, I am independent and all. Can it say independent and all? It can't. The hand, it will not get any energy at all. It is like that when they are giving continuously the energy. Even now we take the food, we take the energy out of that, we do everything and all. So then we have got to be in harmony with the five elements. This is very important, repeatedly sort of insisted in our scriptures again and again. Not only in this, because in so many other scriptures, in Puranas and all, it's because so that we have to live in harmony with the five elements. Nothing but what we talk about the climate change and all what is happening now, that has already been emphasized in the sense, because you are part of it. Without that, you are not going to exist. We are seeing the quality of air in Delhi as to what is happening. Not only Delhi, and because even so many cities in India as well as in nearby Pakistan and other places and all, it has become unlivable. And in fact, because they say, your lifetime will come down over there. Certainly, it is supposed to come down, because when you don't live in harmony with it. Therefore, it is one of the greatest warnings that has been given time immemorial in our scriptures. So this is what I wanted to bring in, and Guham Pravesha Trishtantam. So when all these things, when he says, the Upanishad says, so once you have been brought in and you have got the same power who has brought in and he has given you everything and all, you will have to live in harmony with all these things. Guham Pravesha Tishtantam, in the sense, finally he enters and takes his seat in the heart cavity. Heart cavity, in the sense, he is supposed to be the pivot in you, so give you the enough energy. The prana, when it comes, he's a resident in prana because he himself gives the power of the prana to give the life force. If prana doesn't have the power, because then prana leaves. As long as he's able to have the power to give you the life energy, we are able to do it. So this is exactly, because that is how he enters when the first breath that takes place. Then, because then the life energy, because the Brahman, whoever is the one who has created, whoever is the one who is incomprehensible, who is the one who is absolute cause, the same Brahman is entering, to activate. That is his greatness, because whatever he has created, because he wants to give, potential to you in this world, as long as, because you are ordained to be here. That is what the Upanishad says. And that is what even scientifically you can't otherwise say. As long as the life force is there, you are active. What you want to call the life force, because you can't scientifically create a life force. Like as you can't create scientifically sort of a mind, which has been attempted and failed by so many times. You can't do that, it is that. So this is exactly, what they have told. He enters and takes his seat in the heart cavity. Ya bhutebhyoho vyapashyayata. The sense once he has gone in and he is able to give you the enough energy to see everything, enjoy everything, as well as understand everything, and you become to accumulate, all your wisdom, as well as have the way of your life as you have taken, because it is you who have taken the road to the life here. No one, because you have tried to become something and all, because you have taken the decision, and because of your attitude, vasanas and all, you have taken the decision. And finally, you are going to get the consequences. You are the one who is getting the consequences. He is not. He is there, give you enough energy. And if you want to be a number one fraudster, you do that. And you may be doing that. But then, he gives you the energy. How the energy is being used, we don't know. So if the electricity is being given in the same house, whether you are using it in the heater will gives you the heat, the refrigerator will keep the things cool, and the light will give the light. and something else, they will play the song, and even something you are using it, for a wrong purpose, the energy will work. Energy doesn't say, because it's like a gas. You use the gas, in the whichever automobile and whichever circumstances, it will do that. But how, because we don't know now how it is going to help us. He is inert in the sense, he gives you the energy. His job he has done. It is for you to take the energy and do it. This is exactly the purpose of human life. This is what the mantra number 6 and 7 says. In that process, he explains the creation, how he has entered, how he is able to see, and he is able to make you see everything, understand yourself. So you are also able to finally get into the highest mode, and you can go on elevating every time. And the Advaita concept, when they say, the world is not illusion, that's what people say. It's incorrect. They don't say it is illusion. It is neither real nor unreal. The etymology of Advaita is, they say, because every time you get experience, there is always a better experience, which disproves, which rather, because it says, the earlier experience is not that valid, because that is not the final truth, because you got something better. But as the world is offering experiences as one after the other, it will always be better than what it is. Because, now at this age, because what I experienced about 30 years before, at that point of time, I might have been affected because I thought that is the truth. Because now I know, because I was like, at that time, I am not, my maturity was not so great, my wisdom has not grown to such an height. I thought, because I was in the conditionalities in which, I was operating, I thought that is the ultimate truth. So that's how I have taken the failure to my heart. And success has taken me out of my realm, because I just went astray. So both will not happen once you know, yes, this is it, because there is always something much better. Because when you see, you attain the highest position in the world and all, what is that? Finally it is. You will not be able to. Finally, there is something much better, which you will be able to experience. The position, power, and all, because you may be in the eyes of someone else, it is there. But for you, it doesn't matter, because it is for the Upanishad talks about you and your own experience. And the next mantra 7, because continuously you need to see in the conjecture. The next mantra said the same thing. Pranena sambhavati. See, this next mantra 7, it always uses it in a feminine gender. The first mantra was in masculine gender, because the power, how, because the entire the lives are being brought through to subtle level, Hiranyagarbha, and entire, because the prana enters the womb, everything and all, it all creating. It was all said, because in the cosmos was created, because there is a whole sort of there is also a sort of a hierarchy of cosmos. Earth is not one of the major sort of element, in the hierarchy of them, because there are far more, because the entire galaxy, if you see, Earth is, because one part of the one particular galaxy. There are so many super galaxies everywhere and all. If you see that, because then Earth is one part of it, and within the Earth, we are all tiny tots. It is like that. The first one was explaining in macrocosmically how the world was created, that the causative energy has brought in everything into being. And finally, we are able to get across and appreciate. That is what, we have seen. And that is exactly been, because in talked about, very nicely in our scriptures, very simple way. Sahasra Thirisha Purushaha Sahasratra Sahasrabhat. Because when Purushottam says in thousands of heads and thousand heads and thousands of heads, with so many things vast that is created. Sahasra Thirisha Purushaha Sahasratra Sahasrabhat. Thousands, because that is a millions and billions of entire, the cosmology was there in the creation of so many galaxies, so many planets, so many stars, everything is created. Sabhuvim Visvato Vritva. Sabhuvim Visvato. In that, Bhumi is, one of the things. Vishwa is much greater concept. Bhumi is, Earth is one concept. Vishwa is encompassing everything. Sabhuvim Visvato Vritva. Because that is much greater than incomprehensible. So that is what it is created, and then he has created. Then in that Purusha Suktam itself, how the man was created, and because it comes in chronology like that, and it's also been told us it has been very nicely explained in our scriptures also. And once having created and the macro level and the micro level, how a human being, how a small animal, everything is formed, everything is brought into this world, how they are being created and tumbled down into this earth for their existence, is explained in the mantra number 7. It is in feminine gender, in the sense, because it is basically, when the creation takes place, it has to be, because it is the order, because in which, because there is no order in even the plants also, when it takes, because if you see the zoology, it's being denoted in the masculine gender only, because that is how, because the creation is being considered. Ya pranena sambhavati. It is from she from whom prana is born, it says. It says she. Hiranyagarbha, it says it's being referred to as she, Hiranya. Hiranyagarbha is nothing but, because which has been the come out of the will of the Ishvara from the Brahma, when he wanted to create, he created the Hiranyagarbha, he gave the creative power into that. How can we create the power? When you give a creative power, anything you are giving creative power into this, into anything, that is called the feminine, masculine, feminine gender. Hiranyagarbha is taken as a feminine gender here. And this is true, because you might have known, because another word called Gandharva, Gandharva is the one, which is the creative, the fertile power, that has been referred to, because even Hanuman Chalisa, you might have been heard the word Gandharva. Gandharva is that one. And likewise, it is taken there. Aditi Devata Mai. Aditi is the one. She is the enjoyer in the form of Devata, in the sense, Devas in the sense. She is the one who creates, and she, Aditi is not, because we should not be referring to the name Aditi, because there is one more Aditi in the scriptures, the wife of Kashyapa, who has given birth to all the Devas. Her name is Aditi. He had two wives. One is Aditi and another is Diti. Diti gave birth to all Rakshasas, Daityas. That is why Diti, Daityas, they are called. Aditi gave birth to all Devas. So Aditi Devata Mai, she is the enjoyer in the form, because she is the one, who can create. And here Aditi in the sense Ati, Atiti, Atiti, Adi, because that is it is being split in Sanskrit as it is. It is the one who can create and who can destroy. And she's the one who creates all the devas. Devas in the sense, who are all the devas? Because normally, because Brahma has created Devas from him and all those things and all, because Kashyapa and Aditi has given birth to Devas. Here the Devas in the sense, you might be remembering, because in the same Upanishad we have seen, the eyes are being controlled by sun and the ear is being controlled by, because various Devatas, and even mind is being controlled by Shiva. And all your tanmatras are controlled by Parvati and all those things. Because all those devatas, when they occupy, the one who once she takes the place in prana, all other devatas take their respective places in the body. They are the one responsible for functioning of all the senses and the sensibilities. Senses in the sense, all the eye, ear, nose, and all other, because your legs, everything and all. Not only that, tanmatra, sapta, sparsha, rupa, rasagandha. For them also, because we have already explained, in earlier, the devatas for that, because that we preferred, because we can refer once again and all. The idea is the one he prana comes in, all these devatas in everybody takes their respective place. With that, because you are Guham Pravesha Dishtanta. See, and she enters and takes her seat in the cavity. So Guham Pravesha Drishtantam, once he gets, how he gets into the cavity, because when the prana comes, Pravesha, she gets in and then she becomes the life energy and gives. Ya Bhutebhyo Vijayata. In the midst of the elements, she is truly born. This is in the midst of all the 5 elements. Because you are always encountering wherever you go, because you are either in air or earth or sea or wherever you are there, all the five elements are there, any part of the world, wherever you are existing. Without these five elements, you will not be able to exist. Yeah, Bhutebhyu, in the midst of all the elements, you are truly born. This is what it says. So then you will be, once you know, because you are remaining with these five elements, you have to understand these five elements, be in harmony with the five elements. And that is how, you come into being. And then you finally, what you do, because all the five elements, you will have to consider to be a sort of your mother. She has given you everything. Earth is giving you the food, and water is giving you, because the nourishment, and all minerals comes through the water. But we take the demineralized water. Mineral water, we don't, we call it, but it is a demineralized water. The natural water is the mineral water. And then, because the air what we breathe, because the quality of the air, what we call the air quality, why we are talking about the air quality. Likewise, all these things come. This is how, because the creation has been explained, because it is basically to make us aware that we will have to be in harmony with whatever, who has created and given it this world, and we should be able to accordingly formulate our living. We cannot be going overboard on these things. So this is what the mantras to both of them say. In essence, what they say, it is whatever, the creative power or Brahman, whatever the Upanishad is trying to attempt, in the same one is inside you also. Once you know that, because that is, and how great a responsible person, is there, to see that you are being, because till such time, you are not able to get into this, and you are always being controlled by your conditionalities, happiness, sorrow, why it happened to me, how it happened to me. Is it not that, because I have done everything right, why it should not be others, are enjoying, whereas I only have, all these tribulations, that has come about me, and all those things will slowly disappear once you know. Then you will be able to see yourself with a sort of, the vision as to whatever experience it is happening, you are able to see the experience, not part of you. You don't become part of the experience. You are able to see the experience as the experience per se, as you are seeing a movie. If you are seeing a movie, because if there is any tragic scene, you also become tragic. The life is like that. As long as you are not able to understand, because the highest power has been always with you, he has created you, and he has brought you, and he is doing that and all. And then, because when there is a very happy moment in the movie, you also enjoy. When there is a comedy, you also laugh it to your heart's content, and finally you also enjoy all those things. Because the life is like that, it's happening, because everything and all. But every time you become part of that experience, then you are suffering yourself. So whatever is happening is, it will inevitable. It will happen because it's happening because of your own actions. Either you have acted, and otherwise you overreacted. Your reactions have exceeded your action. Then it has happened. And then because once know that that is because of that it is happening and all. So then you understand that, because you are able to see as if it is a movie, and when the movie is over, you are totally detached from the experience of that. Only during that period, you are having it. So you will have to treat everything with a sort of sense of sort of detachment, in the sense, because detachment, because you don't have to deliberately do it. Once you understand there is the same power is inside me, is getting it done by me, I am nothing, and I am able to have everything done, because of his help and all. When he is giving you some experience by which, you feel that you are sorrow, or you are just having struggle or anything like that, it is also for your good only, and based on your consequences of your own action, he says, because that will give you an experience, and then by reason of which, you will be able to ward off, and maybe, that experience, what you learn from the experience becomes a wisdom that gets into your intellect, and then your discriminating power is further improved. It goes on improving till such time finally you get the ultimate wisdom of seeing the world as it is happening without you being involved in every experience. Once that happens, that is possibly the final ultimate, the purpose for which you have come into being. Then, because the world looks, everything is wonderful. Whatever has happened has come about. Whatever you have undergone is not something you alone have undergone. So many people have undergone so many times. But then, because you are able to see, yes, it is okay, it is happening, because then what happens, because the body, something happens to body, but because why it happens, it's also consequences, because I might not have taken care of the body. It might have happened, and subsequently the corrective things are there, and corrective procedure is there. I will have to get it done, and then I will have to see, because I am careful enough so that I don't able to. Because that is how the life is going on. We'll have to continuously learn. Once you know that, so therefore nothing is that one. You will be brooding over and stopping you from stopping the journey. Purpose is you go on enjoying the journey. To enjoy the journey, you will have to learn from everything. Every experience you take it with a pinch of salt, because that finally what you are learning is the final outcome, not the experience per se. And once you understand, because the entire thing you have been guided, and that, because you have understood, because you could either be everything in all, because by being, taking everyone, into your gambit of, the entire love and affection. And you also should feel, that you are also being loved by everyone, even though people may be talking to insolent words. They may be talking at that point of time, and because you may not be knowing, they will be sort of brooding over and why I talk like that and all. You think, because maybe that is their conditionalities at that point of time. You forget about. And when you feel nothing, I am nothing, because what is there, because I can't be, when I am nothing, no one can insult me. And when I am nothing, no one can praise me. Once you say that, because then it becomes an equilibrium. And not only that, you can go about jolly well in this world without worrying about anything. So this is what we have seen, because last week, and I am able to complete this mantra number 7 and 6 and 7. In fact, I wanted to take up mantra number 8, which is nothing but the part of this whole group of mantras, first 8 mantras. After this 8 month, because after the completing the 8th mantra, then we are going into the very, very wonderful concept of this Upanishad, where it is going to give an idea of what the God is. Even though we might have discussed Nirguna Brahman, that Brahman, this Brahman and all, how the God could be sort of understood, how God could be sort of taken. There are few mantras, which is going to next 3 to 4 mantras are going to be the highest concept. And these concepts, perhaps, because the first time available in the Upanishadic, whatever Upanishad we have gone through, though it is available in some other capsuled form, it is going to be answered, because very, very precisely and to the point blank, it is answering. And of course, it will take you further. It's not that it doesn't stop there. It takes you further and all. And this is going to be a wonderful, because we have seen in first Upanishad, Isavasya Upanishadam onwards, we are seeing, and Kena Upanishadam went a step further and, gave us, an idea of what it is and all. And we have seen, Pranava in Mandukya Upanishad, and Kathopanishad is taking this entire thing as an answer to the third question of entire, our Nachiketa, what he asked. The most profound, one of the best question in entire, the gamut of Gospels or any Upanishad or any scriptures is the third question what Nachiketa asked. That is a fundamental question. By asking that question, only all the religions have come. What happens to the soul after leaving the body? This is what after this body, because who is the one who is guiding it, who is the one who is taking care of it. But otherwise, because in other some of the religions, the soul doesn't exist, after the body is left. Because in Charavaka, we ourselves have got a philosophy, it is having that. And in Abraham religion also, in this birth, if you do everything, you get into the heaven, or if you get in, if you don't, otherwise you get condemned to the hell. Because that's what I say. There are only two options. There is no. But whereas, because here we know, we have got the concept. We so widely, have we have got a broad brush. which tries to delineate everything, because even the creator as well as the creation, the cause and the effect, and the a priori and the posterior, everything has been brought into a full gamut of it. And this is going to be beautifully explained in the next few mantras. With this, I will try to conclude today's session. And we will also discuss anything you would like to know. And perhaps we can discuss. And last week, Sandhya ji had asked some questions, and I have also just given her sort of clarification, and she can also say, because whether she would like to know much about it, and then I leave it to the floor to Prabhu as well as Krishnan sir. Yes, madam.
No, so I'll think a bit more about it, because more than that, I realize there are several other things which come in at the same time. Like in that thought.
Yeah.
So even when so that's why I said like today you said that the entire three-dimensional world is only for our experience.
Yeah.
And the experience we seek, when we are trying to seek experience, is basically when we say I am. So I'm getting into a restrictive field.
Yeah.
I say I'm a doctor, so then accordingly I'll see my external world. So the minute I become, I am an engineer, it's another world for me. I mean, so that is what you mean by Maya. So right now I'm in that mood of just trying to get too many things together.
Absolutely, ma'am. Once we are, because once we are created, we are, because when he is inside us, whatever in the power life force is with you, he doesn't have any conditionalities. We have the conditionalities. Therefore, because that is why, because just to remove the conditions, basically, it is sort of a layering out, because whatever conditionalities, that is, where, because you don't, after all, because I am is, the very existence is I am, because everyone will talk about. In fact,
yeah, but to say that, I don't have the guts, honestly, right now.
in fact, madam, there are two philosophies attempted this. Yeah. Two philosophies attempted in the, I think you might be knowing Sermon on the Mount, because in the Bible, it's a very famous, everyone will talk about it, because some of you might have heard occasion to hear the actual Sermon on the Mount. And in fact, the Sermon on the Mount has been dealt by one Swamiji of Ramakrishna Mutt, and he has written a book on Sermon on the Mount. So in that Sermon on the Mount, what says, because the Abrahamic religion, the God, when he sees Moses says, I am, I am. He says, because I am is my name. He doesn't say I am. So when you see I am in the sense, because that is the easier way of, for Christians to understand, the power is there and all. And so is Zarathustra in Zendavesta, the Persian, this also. He says, because it is me. He says, me, he couldn't refer any other word as called me, I am. That's what he says. But when we say I am, we take ourselves, because the creation has ourselves, but whereas God says it is me. So when you see I am, then naturally is God. Because maybe, to some extent, the Advaita philosophy tells you, I am so and so and all. But you with the conditionalities can't be so and so. So to be without the conditionalities, you can be that. So that is what the approach is. As I was telling you before, you joined, even the Advaita philosophy is Shankara has perfected it, and in fact, brought it into.
Actually, now that you're saying it, see, Advaita philosophy, it became very easy for me because of the physics E equal to mc square. So the minute you say E equal to mc square, even an energy is stone. Stone is an energy and Sandhya is energy. So fine, I could be a stone or I could be God.
Yeah.
So that way, then it becomes really that Advaita becomes much more easier to imagine.
Actually, madam, it has got its own complexities, etymologically. But it is basically what people make it easier is, and if you go to Advaita concepts also, consciousness is not only one, but the absolute consciousness, they call it, that is Sakshi, that is different. There is a concept called Sakshi in Advaita also. That absolute consciousness is who doesn't get anything to do with the creation and all. He only wishes, because he gets into the love, penant, the tapasya, the sankalpa, then, the one in the consciousness takes the form of Ishvara for creation, whereas it is Brahma, because otherwise, we call it and all. So the creative power, is called Ishvara. But even before creation, because as far as, the Brahman is concerned, he doesn't get into all this creation business and all. He only wishes, because the entire energy throb, let it come through and all. So he alone in the same form of Ishvara, part of it, become. He doesn't, it is, he doesn't transform himself, because in that, he brings in all the concept, but he remains as it is, unaffected. So that concept is because they also got, in fact, because theistic philosophy, they made it very simple. Is Swatantra, independent, he is unaffected by everything. All other are dependent on him, because like, we are all reflective of the same reflection of the sun rays. He is the sun, these rays are being reflected into whatever medium it there. We are all the reflected rays. So, but we will have our same energy and all, same quality and all what we have, but we can't become the sun. So this is exactly the difference. Whereas, because when you see, I become that and all, because you will not be able to, the same potential, you will not be able to assume. But you will be able to assume qualitatively, yes, you are the same.
Yeah, true. Okay, thank you.
So likewise, yeah, like U-235, it has got so much of potential, because the 3 bombs that was dropped in Nagasaki and Hiroshima, what they used to call, in those days, little boy, thin man, fat man, they call 3 names by that. But all of them, because one is uranium-235 and another is plutonium and another one is implosion, because plutonium-39 or something implosion that was taking place. When that was taking place, the entire potential was in that particular atom of those elements. That was not visible till such time, the fusion was carried out and the project and the Manhattan project brought it about and all. It is already inbuilt, like a seed, a tree is built into the seed, it is already built. In fact, because uranium has been taken, it's 1,000 times abundant, more than the gold. Still it is available. That's why, for the peril of the human being, it's still available. So that is why, they took that particular material, they tried it. And, the Chicago also, the Enrico Fermi, had the laboratory, where he worked on and the part of the Manhattan project. When he did all those things, because that shows, till then, everyone was considering it as a heavy element, heavy metal. Afterwards, only the potential was seen all through. Likewise, once you know what the effect of it can't be the same as the source. So once you know that, that is concept is there everywhere and all. Of course, what you said is correct, because in Advaita philosophy, is apparently, one will not be able to make too much of sort of, you can understand, yes, E is equal to MC squared, yes. Exactly, yes, that's right, because once you know the quantum state, you are at that particular state, you can be understood that way, as a photon. Anyway,
so the comprehension. Okay, sorry.
Next week, we will the mantra number 8 talks about something called Virat. With that, the concept that Virat is also a wonderful concept. It has got excellent elucidation in Bhagavad Gita. We will also bring it, and with this, I think we will have a wonderful. Next week, we will be coming to the one of the major, one of the important part of the first Valli of the second chapter, fourth Valli of second chapter. Thank you, madam. I think thank you, everyone. And today we'll complete the session. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahaihi, tejasvina vadidamastu ma vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, madam. Thank you, Prabhuda. Thank you, Krishnan sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.